This was a major breach of trust, and I'm really sorry that this happened. We have a basic responsibility to protect people's data, and if we can't do that, then we don't deserve to have the opportunity to serve people. So our responsibility now is to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Well, from offering his first sorry in that CNN exclusive to now, in less than 3 hours, Facebook's 33-year-old boss, Mark Zuckerberg, will take his apology tour all the way to some of America's most powerful lawmakers, spending today and tomorrow owning up to his mistakes and answering questions about a massive data harvesting scandal that exposed the private information of 87 million Facebook users. Well, CNN's Laurie Siegel is on Capitol Hill for us, where this is all going down. Laurie, of course, scoring that first interview with Zuckerberg after this scandal broke that we just played. So, Laurie, obviously we know Mark Zuckerberg is a type of man that generally likes to lay low, but he has had to prepare for this grilling today. You've got the inside word on that. What is his strategy?
Yeah, well, in short, his strategy is to be contrite, humble, and respectful. That's what I'm told from a source within Facebook. And what they've done over the last week is essentially turn one of the conference rooms into a congressional hearing room. And they've been doing these mock trials, and he's prepared to answer a lot of hard questions. They've been trying to throw him curveballs. One thing he's ready to talk about is why he believes that he should be leading the company through this tough time. There have been a lot of questions on whether he should step down. So he's ready to answer that question. I'm also told by this source that, we're going to hear him try to remind people why Facebook is a good thing. I think we've seen a very tough news cycle, a tough narrative around Facebook and what it's doing essentially for democracy, for the mental health of users, what it's doing with our data privacy. He's going to go in and try to tell a different story, the other story of Facebook. And I'm told he's also prepared to push back a little bit, to say, Senator, I respectfully disagree with you. And he's also prepared to answer that question of, whether the business model is fundamentally broken at the cost of the users, which I think a lot of folks are asking about, Lynda.
And Laura, it's no surprise that we have heard a lot of criticism of this. Let's just take a listen to what the US president's chief economic advisor had to say.
Mark Zuckerberg goes to the Hill this week to testify. Does the administration feel that Facebook should be regulated?
Is he going to wear a suit and tie and a clean white shirt?
No clue.
That's my biggest question.
Do you think Facebook
is he going to behave like an adult as a major corporate leader, or give me this phony baloney? What is it, hoodies and dungarees, and what is that kind of signal cell?
Larry Kudlow there, not mincing his words, unusual phrasing perhaps, but also is there any truth to that people as powerful as the man running Facebook need to essentially grow up?
Well, first of all, I'm told behind the scenes he's definitely wearing a suit, so to answer his question. But look, I think it's a point. This is a moment of maturity for the company. I've been covering Silicon Valley for nearly a decade, and there is a certain amount of hubris. When you used to go into Facebook's offices years ago, there are the signs that say "move fast and break things." There's this idea that we're doing great work at any cost without looking at the human cost of this. And I think this is a moment for accountability, and I also think to really shape how we're looking at the power and the future of the internet. Our Suzanne Malveaux spoke to Senator Chuck Grassley, and what he said, which I thought was interesting in his interview, is he said people have a constitutional right to privacy. I think we're all trying to figure out, what did we sign up for when we signed up for Facebook? How should we have trusted them with our data? And what are they doing to be responsible? And if they're not being responsible with it, what kind of regulatory issues are we going to see? What kind of regulations are we going to see? I know that Facebook has been trying to get in front of this in a big way over the last couple weeks. Ever since I sat down and spoke with Mark, they've rolled out a number of changes, for data protection and data privacy, political ads and issue ads transparency, verifying users with big pages. So it's been an onslaught of news over the last couple of weeks. I think the frustration, which you'll hear from lawmakers, which you hear from us users, is that this is really the first we're hearing of this after the fact.
And I want to get a bit more of your take on that, Laurie, because some of our viewers might have a look at Facebook and see this warning. I just want to show our viewers. This warning might pop up when they log into Facebook, that basically their information was harvested. And you can remember, of course, that the company shied away from ever even telling anyone that it happened back when it took place. So we've seen this warning, we've seen this apology, but take us through the steps that Facebook is actually taking right now to rehabilitate its image.
Well, even that screenshot you just saw, I mean, what you can do is you can see what apps you signed up for. You can actually kind of opt out of these apps. They're now billing their ads with more transparency, slapping the word political ad or issue ad on them. That'll be rolling out beginning in a couple months. So, you know, they are taking steps, but there is that frustration. You know, are they getting in front of this? You know, when we look back at the Cambridge Analytica data, we still don't know exactly how that was used. And we still don't also know, they said they were going to do an audit. We also don't know if that data has been deleted. Those questions aren't clear. I think there's frustration around that. And then, you know, they just announced a data bounty program, just literally in my inbox a couple minutes ago, I saw this, where they're trying to, you know, incentivize people to find misuse of data. So I think the big question is, you know, what else are we going to find? You know, what else are we going to see? And how is our data used in all these different ways? And these are important questions. And you could argue, you know, from covering this company for a long time, and for me, stepping into Mark's orbit a little bit, you know, he's not used to this setting. This is political theater too. He was very nervous during our interview because he is very much, I don't want to joke, he's, you know, been almost living in his own filter bubble of sorts. You know, he's ruled his constituents of 2 billion people from afar with Facebook Lives, with blog posts after the fact. And I think, you know, that's got to change, because at this point he's a world leader, and the company needs to be more accountable, more transparent, and humbled by this big moment in time. And this is, you know, a moment for Facebook, but I think the tech community as a whole to do some soul searching.
Yeah, they will certainly have to do that. Laurie Siegel on Capitol Hill. We will no doubt be covering that testimony when Mark Zuckerberg faces the lawmakers there in about 3 hours from now. Thanks so much, Laurie.
Thank you.